seen her on the stage with the Cleveland Pops Orchestra, or in the orchestra pit for the Broadway shows at Playhouse Square, or playing solo in the theater lobby before the show. Or perhaps you have seen her when she provided backup for Andrea Bocelli, Barry Manilow, The Who, and a score of others. You may also remember when she performed at our cultural arts programs at Fairmont Temple, or weddings, including ones at which Cantor Sager officiated. Mary Beth is also very proud to be a member of the Metro Health Arts and Medicine Department. Mary Beth performs her one-woman show at dozens of retirement communities and nursing homes. Most recently, she received a standing ovation from the residents of Schnerman House when she played a stunning rendition of the alphabet song with 5-year-old Shayna, who's here tonight, as Shayna played on her ukulele. So join me and Shayna in welcoming Cleveland's outstanding violinist, Mary Beth Irons.
Where is she?
I don't know.
Hi, everybody. Can you see and hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I am going to try to make the screen a little bigger. Would that be better?
Yes. Much better.
Okay, there we go. Much better. I am so honored to be here. I don't even know where to begin. I want to thank Phyllis Burles and Janice Hershen and Iris Green for helping bring me on board tonight. These ladies are a crack team of tech whizzes, let me tell you. They are very, very knowledgeable, even more than many 10-year-olds I know who are often the most knowledgeable. These ladies know their tech stuff, and they really helped me get on board tonight. So I am very grateful for that. What better event to have than one that honors Cantor Sarah Sager. I love her with all of my heart. I always have. She's a consummate musician, a consummate spiritual leader, and just a bright, shining star in the community. And I have been so honored to work with her and to know her and to get to know her even better over these years. I think our very first collaboration was around 1981, during the Reagan era. It was a long time ago. It was indeed at Fairmount Temple. It was a wedding, and it was amazing to see this gorgeous woman come running over with this magnificent figure. And she comes over and she tells us that she will be officiating at the wedding, and most importantly, keep playing when the bride circles the groom. I didn't know what that meant back then. I know very well what it means now. But she said, don't stop, keep going. Circle will happen 7 times, keep playing. And she was so lovely. And when I watched her do the ceremony, I couldn't believe how she would bring up the unique characteristics of the bride and groom. Whether the bride was a control freak or maybe very emotional, she would bring it up in a very sweet, endearing way. And then she would talk about the groom and how he was able to handle these traits of the bride. Or it could have been the other way around. Maybe the groom was too into sports or the Indians or whatever. But she always managed to bring in charming things about the couple. And I always admired that. When we heard her sing the 7 blessings, we thought we died and gone to heaven. The rest of my string quartet, which consists of another violinist, a violist, and our cellist, who's Kent Collier, is the cellist, and he's been in love with you, Sarah, for many decades, by the way. He was in love with you the first time he heard you sing and the first time he saw you, and it's still happening to this day. So just a little FYI there. I have a lot more to say about Sarah, but I think I'm going to start with the song called Autumn Leaves. In this way, we celebrate the season, and it's been so beautiful lately that autumn leaves are really having a field day, literally. And so here's a little rendition of Autumn Leaves to celebrate the season. Little autumn leaves. There's a lot of autumn leaves. So I want to continue a little bit talking about the first time I met Sarah and the first time hearing her gorgeous voice. It was indeed the Shleva Brachot, the 7 blessings. And it was so beautiful. And as each blessing became more intricate and more melismatic, Sarah's voice just rose to the heavens. It was so beautiful. And shortly after that, we did a wedding together at the club at Hillbrook in Chagrin Falls. And the voice carried up into the trees. And I swear the birds stopped singing to listen to Sarah singing. It was just beautiful. And I'll never forget that. And another thing, my husband and I love to travel. My husband's originally from Moscow, Russia, and he has a very dear, warm feeling for Europe. And so we travel quite a bit. And there was a time for a while, every time we returned to the States, we would see this large poster at Hopkins Airport of Sarah and other religious leaders. And there she was, greeting me on my return home. And it was always a thrill to see that. I loved it. It's just, I was so proud. And as I said, we've collaborated in many weddings. I had the honor of playing for Sarah's daughter's wedding not too very long ago. And now she has Fred, and it's, see what happens, Sarah, when we play for your wedding? Beautiful children result. So, and I hope to play for Fred's wedding someday, just saying. All right, so speaking of weddings, I'm going to play a little snippet from a little medley from My Fair Lady. I know that Iris loves Broadway. I see her quilt with Broadway shows, and I love that. And by the way, Iris, you have a beautiful singing voice. I had no idea. So I may call on you to, you may have to learn the Ave Maria for a Catholic wedding someday. I'm kidding. But anyway, here we go with a little bit My Fair Lady medley. now a little medley from My Fair Lady. As I was playing that, I was thinking, I've grown accustomed to your face. And what a nice commentary on those at Fairmount Temple and those of us who have collaborated with Sarah. We've gotten accustomed to her beautiful face, and we want to see more of it. So, Sarah, you can't go far because we love you and still need to see you. And then the street where you live, on the street where you live, could have been Fairmount Boulevard, because I know you spent a lot of time there, Sarah. Might as well live there in some cases. And so I was just putting these things together in my mind. But one song that really makes me think of you is by the wonderful, marvelous George Gershwin. And the song is Our Love is Here to Stay. Our love is here to stay. Another wonderful Gershwin selection is Someone to Watch Over Me, which Sarah did plenty of. She shepherded many people at Fairmount, helped them realize their strengths, helped them forgive their weaknesses, and was just a basically fantastic presence there. And I think a very caring soul who did watch over many. So here is the beautiful George Gershwin, Someone to Watch Over Me. And my last Gershwin piece will be something we wish we could do: embrace each other. This is Embraceable You, and I love this song. It really, it's just so sweet. And I think Ira Gershwin's lyrics are priceless. If you don't know them, look them up. It's very cute. There's a line that says, come to Papa do. And of course I changed that to come to Mama do. But here is Embraceable You. Embraceable you. Okay, continuing with a song that, well, maybe when we're in person and we all see each other again for this event, we'll be putting on the Ritz. Putting on the Ritz, and we'll be doing that soon enough. Phyllis, is Shayna close by? I love my Shayna. She's growing up before my eyes. I met this child at Schnerman House when she was born. She was an infant, and she's a doll. So maybe at some point we can say hi to Shayna if she's around. I love you, Shayna. I love your grandma. I love your dad. Love your mom. Just a little shout out to the family, who's been just so wonderful to know. And continuing, Sarah, when you said, don't stop circling, I was so afraid that something would happen and we would stop circling and the bride would have to circle to silence. This was a very scary thought. So I made sure that everyone knew, watch me, because I will know when the bride stops circling. I will give a large cutoff with this is the scroll, and I would give a big circle. And a typical song to circle to is the beautiful Dodie Lee, I am my beloved and my beloved is mine. And this is how the Dodie Lee goes, and very popular for the circle. Well, she's still circling. Oh, one more circle. Almost in place. Always try to get that coordinated and synchronized perfectly so that the bride's foot at the chuppah, under the chuppah, the foot touches where she is to stand right at our last note. Very challenging sometimes, but after so many years of doing this, I think I've got it down. Another beautiful song is El Shareb Shoshanim. Maybe some of you had this at your weddings. I hope I'm bringing back some nice memories. And at the end of the wedding, of course, the glass breaking. And Sarah would give descriptions of what each of these traditions meant. For instance, the ring being placed on the index finger because of the vein that goes to the heart. I remember that so well. And also the breaking of the glass. It would take as long to put those shards together. That may your marriage last as long as it would take to put those shards together was one beautiful one. She would explain things, which I always loved. And at the end, when the glass did break, of course, we would do Siementov Mazel Tov. Just a little snippet of some Jewish wedding music. My husband and I went to Israel exactly a year ago, right around now. And we were there for 2 gorgeous weeks and we loved every minute. And the country just, I don't know, it's still in my system. I never felt that way before. I felt being up on top of Masada, the ancient spirits, or whatever you want to call it. I could feel things there that I'd never felt in my life. Floating in the Dead Sea, seeing the Sea of Galilee, seeing this incredible country. And we went to Haifa. We went to, of course, Jerusalem, Tel Aviv, so modern, so beautiful. It was a wonderful, wonderful trip. Can't wait to go back again. I'm sure many of you have traveled, and I want to see Israel again. I have to see Israel again. It's important. And I love show tunes, just like many of you do. I love the Cleveland Pops Orchestra. If any of you have been to Cleveland Pops concerts, you know how Carl Topolo is a master of, I don't know, he brings the concert into a different, almost into your living room. He has a way of welcoming everyone warmly and explaining the song selections with a lot of humor. I've learned a lot from Carl. I think he's marvelous, and I can't wait till we get back. And if any of you are subscribers, I want you to come up to the orchestra stage and say hello to me next time we're on stage live. I'll be looking for you. So I'm going to close in a few minutes, but I want to do a few fiddler selections, Fiddler on the Roof. And by the way, I was not allowed to be the Fiddler on the Roof in high school for our production because I was female. So we've come a long way, baby. So here's a little Fiddler on the Roof. bit of Fiddler on the Roof selections. Love it, love it. It never gets old to me, always sounds fresh. I heard Fiddler is most popular in Japan. To this day, they love Fiddler on the Roof. I have one more song to play for you, and it's a song that really, I think, sums Sarah up beautifully. You know, the name Sarah, it's a beautiful name. And I don't know how many people realize that the name it's indicative of someone who's royalty. It means princess, lady, noble woman. And it also means happiness and joy. And Sarah, you embody all those qualities. And I've been absolutely thrilled to know you these years. And I hope we keep on going and keep on knowing each other and connecting the way we have. And I love you dearly. So here's a song that I think Fairmount Temple can relate to, because Sarah, before there was Sarah, I don't know, it just became so bright when she arrived. And there's a song called Till There Was You. This is from The Music Man. It's a lovely song. And this is all of these songs are dedicated to you, Sarah, but especially this one. Thank you for listening, everybody. I really enjoyed this very much. Sarah, I'd like to take some of your requests, but I don't know what they are at this point. I love requests.
Mary, I've just been unmuted. Mary Beth, you are extraordinary. That was so beautiful. You just played all of my requests. I love everything you play. And I want everybody to notice, I don't know how many musicians could possibly make the violin sound beautiful over Zoom. That is like impossible. And it was so beautiful. And every note, the intonation was just perfect. And your choices were beautiful. And I was not prepared. Iris, can I say something here? Just
Please.
not. Yes or no? Okay. I can,
Yes,
Iris,
I was supposed to introduce you, but go ahead.
oh, come on. I've been introduced. I look to Iris because when she says jump, I say how high. For those of you, by the way, for those of you who know that Iris and I worked together for 24 of my 40 years. What was I going to say? I was going to say something. Oh, I know what I was going to say. People used to think that you had to be able to sing to work with me in the office because we used to, we made some good music together. Anyway, let me go back to Mary Beth, because Mary Beth, you played so beautifully. And the reason, I want everybody to know, the reason we work together so often is because when I would meet with a couple and they would say, do you know any musicians that would be good for the wedding? I said, sure, call Mary Beth. That was always the very first thing that I would tell them. And it was It was always a special treat to work with Mary Beth because we didn't have to, we knew each other so well that all I had to do was say, I'm going to do my thing or whatever. She said, great, go ahead. Don't worry about it. We've got it covered. And that's a very special ability to be able to do that. Was not prepared for the reminiscences and for the memories that just they are overwhelming. They are just overwhelming because you bring back to me so many of the couples who stood under the chuppah, and that has been a particular joy. I love weddings, and I love doing weddings. And they're always great fun. I want to thank I just with every part of me. The people who put this together tonight, Iris and Ellen and Janice, I think you're the ones to start with, but certainly the board and the committee and all of my friends who are part of the Women of Fairmont Temple.
How do I get rid of this guy?
What?
I'm sorry, there's somebody who's happens to be on the view, and I don't know how to ask him to go away.
Well, okay. The world is imperfect. And
okay. Oh, it's Emily.
Zoom is particularly.
I think I put that dear lady to sleep.
No, heavens no.
When I came here, actually, the sisterhood and I met before I ever got here. Some of you are aware that I was the first sisterhood Shabbat speaker in November of 1979, and I did not arrive here as the cantor until July of 1980. So those of you who were there, who remember
Look at Sarah, Jen.
that was really that was the beginning of our relationship, and
You
I
can stand
will
there.
never forget that night, and it was very special. But when I did get here, Rebecca Brickner was still alive. And not only alive, she was well, she was vibrant, and she was an intrinsic part of this congregation. She used to come to services every Saturday morning. And Rabbi Lelyveld, in fact, always, it was very obvious that he had great regard for her, great respect and deep affection. And we would chat after services every week. But the reason I bring her name up is because there was an annual Rebecca Brickner birthday celebration. And this was a very special event. It happened without fail every single year in February, because that is when her birthday was, if I remember correctly. Those of you, if I'm wrong, please correct me. And I think it was most often put on by the women who also did the Jewish Scene, the radio program in Cleveland. They were an exceedingly creative, witty, literate, erudite, talented group of women, and these shows were of a very high quality, and it was really, everybody looked forward to them, and they continued even after she moved away and even for many years after her death. So that when Sheila Orkin contacted me and said that she had this idea, I knew immediately what the inspiration was for this night. And aside from her generosity and thoughtfulness, that touched me deeply, because that was that day was so special in the life of this congregation, and it meant so much about that woman and the impact that she had had on our congregation. And if I could have even a portion of that impact or have had on this congregation, then I am I am comforted. I am satisfied. It is a wonderful thing to believe, or to even aspire to, continue to aspire to. So, but it didn't just stop there. It went to our Women of Fairmont Temple, who embraced the idea. If it had just been an idea, actually, that would have been, if it had just been Sheila's idea, it would have been Diana. That would have been quite enough for me. but it went further. And any of you who have had any experience with the Women of Fairmont Temple, and if you have not, you should. A little commercial, if you're not a member, you should be. Forgive me, because this is an extraordinary group of women. And they, as I say, they embraced the idea and they decided that it would become a reality. And as it has been my privilege to learn over and over again, this is a group that, like the immigrants in Lin-Manuel Miranda's Hamilton, they get it done. So I have had the joy of working with this very special group of women for many years now. And they have epitomized for me devotion to our congregation, the values and goals of our tradition, and the mission to make our world a kinder, gentler, more hospitable place. Nothing has ever stopped them. Nothing has ever stopped you. And and here we are, true to form, in the middle of a pandemic. You did not want you didn't want to delay, to wait, or to postpone. If anything, your work and your impact during this time has been even greater as you have continued to meet, to program, to serve, and to expand the depth and breadth of all of your activities. For me, this night is maybe a day next year. This event is a new kind of chesed shel emet. This is, in our tradition, this is a kindness that can never be repaid, and therefore is the purest kind of kindness, because we can't harbor the thought that somehow something will come back to us because of it. This is pure generosity. This is not something you were expected or required to do. It came out of your life and your generous spirit. As we have worked together, learned together, worshiped together, celebrated together over so many years, I feel this gift as the heartfelt blessing that it is. And I thank you with all my heart and all, as we say in our Vahafta, I thank you with all my heart to heart, with all my soul, and with all my might. You are very special, always, friends. God bless you.
I put everyone back in gallery view so Sarah can see all the faces together. We want to thank Mary Beth for her beautiful playing, and thank Phyllis for finding her for us. We're so appreciative. And we loved your comments, Mary Beth. They just were wonderful. We want to thank all of you for coming tonight. The Women of Fairmont Temple, as Sarah said, are very grateful to have stayed active during these challenging months. And we have continued our wonderful mitzvah projects for the community and have had many social and educational programs. We would love you to join us in the future. And we have two programs coming up that I'd like to tell you about. You might love to join us on November 17th. It's a Tuesday at 1 o'clock for a wonderful lecture on Modigliani by Felicia Stadelman, who's a really well-known art historian in our area. And I think you'd really enjoy her lecture. And on December 1st, we have a very, very special treat, a virtual tour of Israel with tour guide Michael Glassman, who happens to be Bernice's nephew. And he was going to lead us in exploring sites related to Judah Maccabee and the Hanukkah story. So it should be both very informative and fun, and I think it will be a real treat. Please continue to check all of our events in the Temple Bulletin and contact me at the email you used for this evening. And of course, we look forward to next year's Sarah Sager's Day and hope you'll join us again. So now as we're concluding, I ask you to raise your glass.
Wait.
Okay.
For one more minute, just
Okay.
because this entire night has made me so verklempt. Just two things. I did not acknowledge that unbelievable film of The Gift. You can see I keep it very close by, and I am going through it in very small doses. It's like chocolate. You can't have, I mean, I could consume the whole thing in one sitting, but I would be just, it would be beyond. So I cannot thank you enough, and the people who put it together, and Vivian, and for the film and for the book and and Diane and all of you who did that. This is just, it is extraordinary. Thank you. And there have been some wonderful comments in the chat box. I didn't want to take my eyes off of the concert, so please forgive me for not answering them, but they are just beautiful, beautiful. Thank you. I'm going to take them off of here somehow. I'm sorry, I interrupted. I'm sure
That's
there's
okay,
something else.
anytime. All right, I've asked you, please raise your glasses. To Sarah, may you feel all the joy and love that you bring to others. We wish you only the best of health, happiness, peace, and fulfillment. May you go from strength to strength. To Sarah.
God bless you. May we all go from strength to strength.
I am.
Health also, yes. Yeah.
Well, you can stay on a few minutes and chat, everybody, and thank you for coming.
Thank you. Oh my God, you guys are amazing.
Oh, Sarah, we're so happy to have you with us.
Oh, well, this is like me.
Whoops, wait a minute. What did I do? Ah, yes.